Fujifilm just announced their X-T50, the companion to the latest generation X-T5, but at the same time, it's kind of replacing my own camera, the X-T30, which I've had for around 5 years now. And since I don't have any affiliation with Fuji, this is not a hands-on, this is not an in-depth or anything, no, this is just me, a regular user, reacting to the announcements. My idea with this is to go around talking about the things that I think Fuji got right, which are the positives of the camera, but also I want to talk about the 3 main flaws of the camera, where I think Fuji got it wrong. And hopefully by the end of this video, you could decide if this is the camera for you or not. Side note, pardon my nasal voice, because I've been having this, I don't know, it's a flu or just a regular cold, but I hope it's going away. Anyway, let's talk about the positives. I want to start talking about the body style. It's flat out gorgeous. Fujifilm always gives us these more square edges, these flat lines, but this time around the X-T50 has these rounder edges, which I believe, first, they look great, but also it brings it closer to the Leica's M series, Leica, whatever. Those rounded edges, but still maintaining those sharp Fuji accents. I think it's a step in the right direction. Apparently, it's just a tiny bit beefier than the X-T30 while not being as big as the X-T5. So let's hope it is not a one-shot. It's not the only camera that's gonna get it. Imagine an X Pro 4 with those sides, the rounded sides. I think it's a turn in the right direction. Let's talk about the controls now. You get your usual shutter speed, your EV, and the exposure compensation, but also you get front and back control wheels. Unlike what they did on the XH line, these are still clickable, which means you can access to secondary functions with the same wheel. Now, the back plate, you keep basically the same controls except for the AF and how is it called? The X-T30 had distinct buttons for the autofocus and the auto exposure. This time around it's just only one button. And interestingly, I think the major change here comes. I hope the sun is not right on the shot. Anyway, on past generations, the X-T30, the X-T20, I believe also on the X-T10, you have the stop dial drive selection, meaning you can quickly go from, say, shooting singles to burst or video, which I do a lot. This time around, that converted into a button, and in its place, there's this quite divisive film simulation dial, which I'll return to later. Now let's talk about something else that I really think it's welcome, this mic input. Finally, it's 3.5. Now, you may be asking, isn't that the standard? Like everybody uses that? Well, yes and no. I don't know why, but the X-T30 has this itty bitty tiny little thingy which is non-standard anywhere in the world, which is a 2.5 millimeter, which means I had to put this stupid adapter. It's finicky. I just hate it, and it's finally been, they're doing it right. Now let's talk about the insides. The image quality, which is arguably one of the most important part of the camera. Now, sorry, my voice. Anyway, the difference between Fujifilm and other brands is that in other brands, the lower models, they don't get the same image quality of their top of the line. They're using older sensors, not the same image processor and stuff like that. In the case of Fuji, you get basically the same. You get the same sensor, the same processing power, the same everything. Different lies in the shooting experience. How many buttons you have, or how quickly you can do things like with the top dials, or maybe the PSAM dial. You get different experiences, but you have access to basically the same image quality. So if you've seen what the X-T5 can do, what the latest X100VI can do, well, the X-T50 can do exactly the same. It's just the same sensor, just the same processing power. And talking about image quality, what I think it's the biggest difference to the predecessor, to the X-T30, is that you can finally shoot in 10-bit internal. Back when the X-T30 was released, only the top-of-the-line cameras gave you 10-bit because it was like the pro settings. This time around, basically all cameras have it. Your iPhone has 10-bit. The action cameras, the Osmo, the GoPro, the Osmo Pocket has 10-bit. So what it gives you is more latitude whenever you want to upgrade your colors in video. So it's a welcome addition, 10-bit video finally. Before you had to go with external monitor if you wanted to shoot for 10 video. Now you can do it internally, which is awesome. Now let's talk about the flops. So what I think Fuji got it wrong this time. I told you about this film simulation. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think having the film simulation dial is just wrong. I just think it's a missed opportunity. Let me explain. Of course, one of the key differentiators of Fujifilm cameras is those film simulations. You know, basically those presets that you can go and gives you a final look which is closer to, you know, the gold standard film look. I think it's a missed opportunity because one of the things that make Fuji cameras so good, it's not only the film simulations, it's how they work with all of the other settings. It's also your saturation, is how you crush your shadows or you lift them, maybe how you treat the shadows, how you treat the highlights, how your custom white balances, your grain, all of that. Different settings that you can just start pushing and pulling, but this time around it's not there, or well, it's not on the top dial. So I think it's a missed opportunity because it only gives you access to a single part of the final look. It's not the whole experience, it's not the whole recipe, it's just the film simulation. So I think that's the one major flaw. Now, the second, battery life. I mean, come on, using the old battery, that thing lasts like 3 shots, and it's single-handedly the worst part of the X-T50 is that dreaded battery. I mean, when you're shooting video, it's good for around, I don't know, half an hour, maybe 30 minutes. So yeah, it's really bad. And I think this newer generation, it's a bit more efficient. So maybe you get 35 minutes. So yeah, I think battery life, it's really a flop because, come on, you could have made it just a bit more beefier and put the new battery. Come on, Fuji, I think you got lazy there. Now, in all honesty, of course, I get it. Putting the new battery there would have meant going with a even bigger, it's not big, but bigger grip, but deeper. And of course, it would have drawn the XT line closer to what the XH line or the XS20, but they wanted to keep it, I don't know, flattish. I don't know, I think it's still a missed opportunity. Of course, it's not bad. I think it's a missed opportunity. And yes, the final one, which I believe this is the make it or break it thing. This is no longer a hybrid camera. The X-T30, while not really a hybrid, you don't have a switch like you had on the X-T4. Just going with the top dial that you can just quickly switch into video to capture video and then put it back. I think it's just a tiny bit faster than going with a button and then scrolling through the screen. I mean, I haven't used it, but I'm sure it's gonna be just a little bit slower going from photo to video. It's nothing bad, it's just my take on it. I wish it would have been more of a hybrid setup, but it's clearly a photocentric camera. If you want to go hybrid, you can go to the XS20. If you want to go photo, the X-T50 is the one you want to go for. With all that said, is this the camera for you? Well, yes and no. If you're photocentric, your main draw is photography, yes, by all means, go with the X-T50. It's a great camera, it looks great, performs, I'm sure, just as good. It's slightly smaller than the X-T5, but the same image quality, it's more portable, it's more inconspicuous. It's a great camera, I'm sure of that. But only if you're doing photos primarily and videos just on the side, or maybe even never, yes, X-T50 it's for you. Now, on the other hand, if you want to go hybrid, meaning you want to do photos and videos, or maybe even more videos than photos, the X-T50 may not be the camera for you. Around the same size and portability, maybe the XS20 is more towards for you, or if you can afford it, the XH line, even the XHS, better yet, with the stack sensor. So yes, if video is important to you, maybe go that way. The X-T50 might not be for you. Now, with that said, am I getting it? I wish, but I'm not sure right now. So I don't know what you think. Just this is my quick thought about it. Just tell me what you think, and come on. If you like what you saw, just give me a like, and maybe next time, if this goes somewhere, Fuji gets to see this and they send me one, that would be awesome. That would have been great. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Bye. And I didn't notice the light just completely gone. Let's hope I can establish this. Of course, by the way, I've been recording this for 25, maybe 30 minutes, maybe even less than that, and the battery's already gone. Yeah, old battery sucks. Come on, Fuji, you could have done better. See you in the next one.